What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer Guys, back again. Last Day on Earth action, and got a Winter of Despair focused video here for you today. I am recording this late on Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all. Hopefully you're having a great Christmas, great holidays. Hopefully you got a good opportunity to spend some time with some family, some friends, got a chance to relax, maybe get a break from school or from work, and just enjoy a couple of days of relaxation. So we're still kind of bouncing back and forth on our travels here, but wanted to get up another video because we've got Winter of Despair event going on. And actually, it's also paired with one of my other favorite events, which is Supply, going on right now. So these just rolled over. You're going to have these through the end of this current season. We're making some pretty good progress, and I'm really excited about having both of these events going on right now. I will probably do a video a little bit later in some reflection when we get a little bit closer to Winter of Despair being done to give my thoughts, but I will continue to say this. Winter of Despair, at least for me, when I kind of got back into the game and started making some content, was probably the best received kind of, I'm going to call it a seasonal event. Not related to the seasons, but seasonal event as in something that's related to the changing of seasons and, Christmas and winter and those kinds of things. And I will say again that I think this event has been great. People haven't been exactly super thrilled with the rewards, but the fact that we have genomes in the track that you can earn, I think is awesome. You've got, some new skins, which is cool. And I think it's one of the better events to be able to, from a free-to-play perspective, be able to complete. I'm making great progress here a couple of days in on free-to-play. Feel very confident we'll get it wrapped up and probably, hopefully, get a few additional levels, which would be awesome. And pretty good rewards throughout. So very happy with it. And then when you partner that up with Supply, I've talked a lot about this, but I think Supply is absolutely awesome. So today I want to talk a little bit, and I want to share some tips and some tricks to help you out on Winter of Despair. Hopefully you've had a couple of days to play, and hopefully these will help you out as you continue your journey. A couple of things that you should know. First and foremost, if you have any of the specialty crafted weapons, let me find one here. Please be careful when you're in your crafting bench, because you can accidentally reset the ammo mod here. Okay, this isn't always typical, but is sometimes a little bit typical. We don't have a ton of weapons, or probably some folks might not have experience with having ammo mods on their weapons. So be very careful with this. I just wanted to point this out. Make sure you don't accidentally do that. So wanted to note that. In addition, if you have access to the VIP zone, you see me, I've got a couple of broken weapons here. I've got a SCAR and a shotgun that have the bullet cracker ammo on it. You can, if you have the repair station or the VIP repair station, you can actually repair these, and they will repair like normal guns. They don't get any extra time constraints, so 12 hours for these in the VIP zone. So if you want to save up some resources and save these weapons, you can. That is what I'm going to be attempting to do here, and wanted to share that as well. That's a good tip, especially if you can. In a couple of runs of Junkyard should be able to get you there, but you shouldn't have a ton of difficulty finding the ammo to get for these. And once you put one together, if you can utilize the VIP zone repair bench, you're gonna basically have a weapon in perpetuity, which is pretty neat. So the other thing I want to jump in, we're gonna go clear the junkyard, and we're gonna go clear the factory. I want to grab some pipes, and I want to grab some more lights, and I want to talk about just some little tips for those locations as well. And again, sorry, no cam today. Again, we're late night recording here. So you have a 21-hour reset for both locations. You have basically the same reset for the Hidden Ridge farm here to be able to do the thing. One of the major tips I want to say is a couple of things really quick. First and foremost, your goal, your priority, your absolute thing you should be doing is heating the houses, completing their tasks, and then decorating them. You're going to need some additional lights to decorate the Christmas tree in the middle when you get to that point. But that should be your focus. Don't be sending lights and getting the rep from that, or don't be using pipes until you've heated everything. Now, it's not going to take you too long, I don't think, if you're hitting your icy junkyard every day to actually get your pipes down to heat all the houses. The reason I say don't spend any of that resource yet is because you're going to get a big reputation boost by heating the house and then decorating the house. It's very, very efficient to be able to do that. All right. So you also do, if you have rations, this is where rations come in really, really big here. This can be a nice boost. You have autos for this each day, 5 attempts, and then you can also refresh for 5 times. So we do have some rations we're going to use. I've done my resets for today. I want to talk about the difference between these two. I personally think, unless you will just need a few lights specifically, you should not be using your rations pretty much on anything except for Strange Factory. This is the best location to get lights. Lights, specifically these blue lights and the star lights, maybe red and maybe round, but mostly blue and star lights are going to be the thing that holds up your progression the most. This is where I would spend my rations. And I'm going to showcase what it would do for both locations to utilize the auto versus refreshing. I'm going to tell you right now that refreshing the locations each and every time is going to be a much, much better use of your rations than using the auto. If you have a ton of rations, use them how you see fit. But refreshing, if you complete this, I believe it's 25 per location if it's got a full timer on it. If you wait a little bit and refresh, you can save yourself some rations. So that's something that you can do. So do consider that. But auto versus refresh, I say refresh pretty much every time. Now you have to clear a location and use your resources, etc., to do that. It's a little bit more time consuming, but your overall net gain for both is going to be so much better. So really quickly, I'm going to auto this and then we'll refresh. We'll go clear this, but we auto it. We're only getting 2 pipes out of this and a little bit of ammo. And that was 10 rations. Not worth it. I'm not saying not worth it. If you were really close and you have spare rations, you could do this, but I would rather spend the 25, and you're going to see when we hit the refresh here, we're ready to go. Let's run over here. You're going to see we're going to get like 10 pipes. We're going to get like 10 or maybe even a little bit more of each of the ammos. This is going to be so much more worth it for that investment of rations. And again, it was 19 because we cleared our locations a little bit earlier to jump in here. So the other thing I want to say, and I'm actually really happy, last year when we had this event, it introduced incendiary ammo, and you needed incendiary weapons, which was cool, to take down these guys. They have now swapped, and they're just basic zombies, which I'm pretty happy about. There's a lot of opportunity with really basic weapons here. There's a lot of opportunity for sneak attacks too, which is really, really nice. Wendigo, the boss that typically or used to be here, has since moved. They've pulled him over to Strange Factory. He was here previously. You could actually kind of dance around him and dodge him. Last year, here at this location, you unfortunately can't do that in Strange Factory, which I kind of wish you could. Save you a little bit of resources, but there's really not a reason to there's really not a reason to use your weapons pretty much on anything but Strange Factory, and weapons aren't even that terrible in Strange Factory, but we'll talk about Strange Factory when we get over there. I will tell you that drones and the dog have been extra helpful for these wildlings, just because, especially if you're using something like a pipe or a machete or a katana, which I have been using my katanas up. It's just basically, 1 or 2 hits depending on how strong the zombie is, and then you take them down. So I'm gonna showcase here. You can sneak. You got a lot of opportunities for good sneak attacks. You should definitely be focused on trying to sneak attack the big guys if you want, and that's what we're going to do right here. Now, whatever big melee weapon you have works. I try to get the longest range. These guys do heal. 1 quick hit there, and we take them out, which is pretty good. Again, this is not a difficult location. You can sneak before you open these up. They won't cause these to make any noise, which is kind of nice. Here, just be mindful that you are going to get this fast biter, so make sure to take him out before you proceed. Then we swap, we'll heal up. We'll sneak this guy. There's a couple more here. And then one last little tip that I do want to just mention that will be coming up here, and that's pretty it for this location. Got a couple of sneaky guys. I really like this icy junkyard, by the way. I think this is one of the neater locations. And again, it's a rehash from last year. It is a pure just rehash from last year, and I'm okay that it came back around because I do like it. I think these guys crawling out underneath. I like the flow of it too. It's pretty good. All in all, you get some really good supply points from this, I've noticed as well. Clearing these locations. Just queue these guys up. One hit here. Now this guy, I don't think... Sometimes this guy is flipped around. So sometimes you can't get this sneak attack. But here we were able to. I'm just going to burn these guys down with the Uzi since I have the opportunity. The same is true. That was the other tip that I wanted to say. The same is true, actually, for the zombies in here. This guy is always generally facing towards you. I've not found a good way to get in and sneak attack him yet. But that's it. The rest of the zombies here actually have a slightly different... you could sneak attack this guy if you want to, which we will right here. These guys have a couple of different patterns in addition to some different zombies spawning here sometimes. Sometimes you don't get this big frozen biter there. Sometimes you get some guys that are a little bit different locations. So just take your time, especially if you're a little bit newer or maybe don't have as good of supplies ready for this location. Just take your time. And again, you should be able to find some good opportunity to sneak attack most of these guys here. So we're going to drop all that stuff away. These crates typically here in this, back portion of this are amongst the best in terms of supplies that you're going to get. And then this crate here, don't, make sure to be ready for this, but don't miss this. You also can get a variety of different. So here I'm getting the multiple fast biters. We also have a crawler that comes out. Sometimes you can get two of the big guys, two of the big frosty giants from that as well. So you get a little variation there. And that's what we got. So we're looking good here. Last thing that you can do is you can open this up and you can jog out of this location. So that's just a quick run through of Junkyard. And let me just showcase here. So we spent 19 rations this time, typically 25 to reset if we did it right away. And we pulled 8 pipes out of this. Clearly better. Plus we got 10 of the 5.56 ammo. We got 19 of the 45. This says 45 ammo, which is funny. It should be shotgun. This should be 12 gauge because this is for the shotgun. I find that funny. Anyways, so we got 19 of the shotgun ammo and 4 of this. When you consider the rations spent for this, this is clearly better. This is clearly better. It's easy to clear. A lot of sneak attacks. Huge tip for this: save your rations, reset the locations if you need to do that. And again, I would really strongly tell you, don't worry too much about resetting the icy junkyard. You're going to be fine for copper pipes. If you do it once or twice just to be able to get there, that makes sense. That's totally fine. However, I don't think you need to do it a ton. I have spent quite a few rations just getting some progress. You're going to see we've really put a lot in, but we'll talk about that here in a second. All right, so I want to showcase this. We're going to auto this location. I'm expecting to get like one of each of these. It's not going to be great. Yeah, so we got 2, 2, 2, and 1 and 1. It's not bad. It's not bad, especially some of these. These are good. I'm happy to see the lights, so that's great. However, now let's go. Let's refresh this, and then we'll head over to this location. Before we do that, I need to run over. I need to grab a little bit weaponry. So let me do that, and then I'll head over to Strange Factory. One other kind of tip I wanted to mention here is you notice that if you have your motorcycle or a different vehicle, you cannot drive here. The reason for this is because you don't get off your motorcycle. You climb down. Kind of wish they would change that to let you drive, but it is what it is. You don't have access to your motorcycle if that ends up being the case. So one quick second, and we'll be back to showcase that. Okay, we're here into Strange Factory. We've got a couple of weapons. There is a little bit of testing that I want to do because I think this will be pretty interesting, but very similar thing here. Now, granted, you are going to notice that these are the specialty zombies. You do have some opportunities here to get a few sneak attacks if you can set these up. Again, they're not going to be quite as effective, but they can still be okay if you can set them up appropriately. Basic weapons here will be fine, but obviously you're doing less total damage. You're doing roughly half is what I would say. Now, a couple other things. Make sure that obviously prior to applying your ammos, you're setting your weapons up appropriately because it has the ammo mod to be able to make the changes. So make sure you have your weapons fully decked out before you apply those mods. But you can see here, I've got a spread shot shotgun, and I'm going to try to make my best use out of this by grabbing a whole bunch of zombies from both sides over here. I'm going to see if I can't queue up a whole bunch of them and just absolutely decimate them. That was pretty good. We missed a few. The shotgun and the scar are fantastic. That's a great way to save up some resources here if you end up doing this or have the spread shot. I know not everybody has access to that, but obviously, like always, groups of zombies absolutely get decimated, and definitely the way that you want to use it. Big damage that we're able to get in here, and we're just kind of crunching. I mean, that was pretty gross right there. Now, again, you could use basic weapons here, and I have had a lot of success using basic weapons, clearing this for the most part. Obviously, the Wendigo is pretty hard to do that, just based on, you know, how much health it has and the fact that it heals, and you know, the damage reduction it takes for having this specialty armor. But other than that, this location I think is very clearable each and every time with just some really basic weapons. So we click the power on here, we're running over. I'm just really going to use this mod to just kind of clean up pretty easily. We hit both powers, make sure we're hitting the powers, connecting everything. I have had pretty good success with lights here. As you would imagine, this is going to be your base area for lights. This was different than it had been in the past in terms of how this event worked. So this is a slight change, which I don't necessarily mind. I don't think it's terrible. I think this was a good location to be able to farm. You have your Wendigo boss here. I have also had really good success with finding like low durability weapons, but just weapons nonetheless here as well, which I've kind of enjoyed. I do, and I should mention that it seems like, as you would expect, having your exploration boosts from your dogs is extremely helpful when finding pipes, when finding some of the other supplies, and when finding all the different components of that. I'm just going to absolutely funnel everybody here as best we can. Smoke those guys, smoke this guy. We'll just one pump all these dudes. You are going to get a handful of additional zombies, so we could save up our shot here. We'll just kind of blow these guys away, and we'll clear this out very, very nicely. But having your boost from your dogs is also just a really good tip. You should absolutely just kind of prioritize making sure before you come to clear these locations that you do, because I do think that helps you. I have typically found, well, I'll talk about that here at the end, but I've typically found a pretty good haul of Christmas lights from here, and I think that's been worth it. So you can knock this part out. Now, you do have this one little part over here. This will queue off of one of the houses. I'll talk about that here after we get this cleaned up. But it is actually a free reset to this location, which is also pretty nice to know. So let's go ahead. You can trigger just the Wendigo boss. You're going to get some crawlers here. and that's okay. The Scar is obviously just going to kind of decimate this guy, and that's essentially what we have happening here. And then I'll save a little bit of shots there by taking those 3 guys out, and we'll clean this up really nicely. That spread shot shotgun, absolutely fantastic. Couple of pops here, boom, and location is complete. Now again, I have had really good success on free-to-play clearing this with simply just using, you know, katanas or basic melee weapons and then saving a revolver for the Wendigo. That's really what I do. And I guess Bad Santa over there, I kind of work that as well. So again, this is going to be an additional boss fight that you'll queue up once you've heated one of the houses up. But let's head back to the Hidden Ridge Farm and let's chat about a few last additional tips. Okay, really quickly, I want to compare. I have had really good success finding lights. These colorful lights I typically find the most of. I've seen a variation of red and round lights, anywhere between 5 to 10, I would say, is pretty normal. And then I have found an average of 3 to 5 of the blue and the star lights. Again, these 2 are going to be probably your most rare. You are going to need a decent amount of round lights and red lights, obviously colorful lights as well. These will be the ones that most likely you'll have pretty good success trading in pretty early, just because they are the most common. But again, when you're comparing rationed usage, by every metric, being able to utilize your rations, especially if you have a limited amount, reset the locations each and every time. If you take a look at everything that we're able to get in addition to the increased amount of these, hands down, by every metric, this is the way to go. So save your rations, use them wisely, and that is the best way to do that. The other thing that I do like to do is use this as storage here for just the different ammos, some of our guns. I like to store that. I store my hatchet here, and that's looking pretty good. So we have absolutely crushed this event. I've put a lot of time into doing this. I've spent a lot of rations to do this, and I want to talk about this as well. So every day you get your reset. Make sure you're dropping your adhesive, your tan fur. You get a ton of points for the copper bar. These are 20 of each if you haven't been able to do this or haven't been focused on this quite yet. Again, wait to drop in the rest of these items until you've heated everything. Then you won't need the pipes, so you can get some additional points there. Once you've decorated everything, then you can start dropping in the lights. This will be a really good boost for you, probably with the last couple of days left. If you're free to play, it's going to take you a good portion of the time probably to find these, so do keep that in mind. Obviously, the reward track, I'll talk about this, but I'm a fan of this. I like the reward track. I think the cosmetics are okay. They're not my favorite, but the fact that we have genomes here that you can pick up is absolutely awesome. This is going to be a big way to go ahead and to help with that. Now, I talked about why you should absolutely be decorating these things and heating these houses first, and the biggest reason for that is the fact that you get additional reputation points when you complete each of those steps, and I believe also when you complete the house's task. So I'm at 25 of 1500. It's 1500 at the base, at the farthest highest level. Level 45 is the last level, so 1500 per level after that for the genomes. So do keep that in mind. I have one more house to clear here, and this is how I've routed my pipes. So this will set you down for the first one. You could maybe potentially run up from here and save yourself some, but I think most efficiently what I did is this. We ran off from here, we came to this T point. This is the fastest house to get here, is the healer house. So I've run this down to queue that up for him. From that point, you run up, and the reason I do this is because this is going to help to feed, again, multiple houses from this branching point. So you can then lay these down to get over to, I forget whose house this is, but this one over there. From this same juncture point, you can run up. You can head up and get, this is, I believe, the mechanic's house. Mechanic's house I do want to talk about specifically. There's a reset here for Strange Factory. This is where you'll fight that additional boss, this guy right here. and that's really good. So you want to make sure before you finish heating this house, or rather before you finish taking this guy's quest, I would not heat this house. Make sure you clear the Strange Factory before you do this. It's going to give you a free reset. Everything is going to reset, all the chests, all that stuff, and that could be another good way to get some additional lights from them. Then from that point, I go over here. You have another branch point. We just go up, finish this house right here. I think that's, I don't know who that is, Hunter. And then we head over here for the last one, and I have one more to put down right here. And our houses are now all heated. That's the cook, which is great. I can take these spare pipes if I want to and drop them in there. I'm gonna wait to do that, and that's basically it. So that's a lot of my tips. Again, I kind of go in the same order that I heat the houses, or the same order that I go ahead to decorate them. I want to see really quickly here, since we were able to do that, it should have given us some points here. It did. It gave us 400 for heating that house, which is pretty good. So that's a nice little bump. You're going to, again, get that. And I also really try to focus on lighting one house at a time. Now, once you have used up all of the lights for one of the houses, then you can move on for that type of light, is typically what I have been doing. This guy right here is the one that has reset that location. Yeah, the mechanic's house. So again, you can see that I've been basically dumping everything into this one. Once I fill up this spot, then I'll move on to the next one and use those lights. But I'm doing that to ensure that I get these complete and then can get some of the extra quests. So we're going to be able to finish the mechanic's house here. That gave us, what was that? Was that 3,000 reputation by doing that? Again, it's like, the amount of points you get from completing each of these individual steps is a lot. That's a lot. If it was 3,000, that's crazy. It was. Look at that. I got 2 full levels from that. That is insane. Very, very achievable here. Very, very achievable to get some good progress. And again, I did this all the way on free to play last year, which was really, really awesome. So we're still working on lighting this one up. Again, you're going to notice that these lights, again, are the ones slowing me down at the moment. For whatever reason, round lights last year, I feel like slowed me down a little bit more than they are this time. But that just could just be some RNG, to be honest with you, for what that's looking like. And then we have this here. We have the cook. I got to talk to the cook, and we're going to go through that. I'm not going to bore you with this quest, and that's where we're at. So good luck out there, completing the houses, heating the houses, getting everything decorated. Clear your locations daily on its reset. You should have really, really good success if you can focus on doing that. And I really do wish you the best. There is a nice little bonus reward that you'll be able to grab here. You will have to decorate this tree, so do keep that in mind. You'll need some additional things, but you grab yourself a tech backpack, good set of armor, nice little Genesis weapon with actually some energy cells, so that's kind of neat. I like that combo, and then some decent meds here, and that's not, that's all things in addition to your full reward track, plus each of what the houses gives you once you complete their quests here. So I'm looking forward to, we'll see how far we get. I have put in, again, a lot of rations and quite a bit of time to build this up, and I've been pretty happy with the success, and I'm looking forward to getting a bunch of genomes, being able to share those, spend those, share that journey with you, and what we can do. So again, wish you very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, enjoy some time. We'll be back into our normal cadence here probably after this week, or maybe after the new year. We will share our final thoughts on this, especially from a free-to-play perspective. We'll do an episode or two just kind of showcasing our journey with that. But I wish you the best. Again, happy holidays. Thank you so much for the support this year. Climbing up towards 3,000 subscribers, a little short of our 10K mark, but we're going to continue to grind through that. That's going to be our goal for 2025. So like, comment, subscribe, flash some socials. Thank you so very much for all of that. And again, just have a happy holidays, and we'll be sure to see you here in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.